All right, welcome back everyone. I'm Ryan, your host today with Idle and Emission Solutions. So today we're going to go over the Polar Fox 24 volt 10,000 BTU sleeper system. All right, hi everybody and welcome back to Idle and Emission Solutions, where we're tackling the biggest repair and maintenance issues in the industry. We're talking about idle reduction, EGR, DOC, DPF, SCRs, NOx sensor issues, temp sensor issues, all the things that cost you a bunch of money. Subscribe, hit the bell for the updates, and like the video, because you never know when that one video could save you thousands. Okay guys, so this is the first part of a multi-part series here where we're going into all of our units and different applications. Polar Fox Technologies, we started about a year ago, and our goal was to get a good electric APU to the market at a reasonable cost that anybody could afford, kind of like the Ford Model T type of thing. So actually, we are direct now with the manufacturer, so we've taken over this unit and we're working on it to refine it, make it better. So what we're talking about today is our 24 volt split unit system, under the bunk sleeper. You have your outside unit, very robust unit. Under the bunk unit, again, very robust unit. We're looking at a 300 CFM fan. System overall is 10,000 BTU, which is, like I said, a pretty high capacity system compared to a lot of them out there. A lot of them are like 7,500. Some of the diesel ones, they're claiming that they're a little bit higher than, and in my opinion, I think that's a little bit higher than what they're advertising a little bit more than what I think they are. So we are trying to sell complete systems, but we also offer individual components. So if you're a large fleet or you have a specific application, we can provide the AC units. We have the lithium starting batteries and also the buck booster converters as well. So pretty much a total solution. So getting kind of back into the system here, what you see here is basically what you, in a complete system is what you would get. So mine is, this over here is another story. Again, you have the outside unit, inside unit, controller, remote, converter, and there's one battery here, but in an installed system for a 400 amp hour system, you'll see 4 batteries. So this complete system here, what you're seeing right now, I mean, market conditions and with our relationship, we're trying to get prices even cheaper. But right now for this system, you're looking at about $8,000 installed. So now I said 24 volt, which most trucks out there in the US market are 12 volt. So you don't have to have a 24 volt system for this, a 24 volt electrical system on your vehicle, truck, piece of equipment, whatever you want to put the system in for this system to work. You can't have a 12 volt and we use a step up converter up to 24 volts. So, and a lot of you might ask, okay, why don't you just use a 12 volt system? So with a 24 volt system with basically the same footprint, with the efficiencies in the compressor, the fans, all that, a lot less amperage, we can actually, with the same footprint, we can get a bigger BTU and fan CFM capacity. So that's where the advantage is. In the conversion process from 12 to 24 volt, you do lose a little bit of efficiency. From my test here, you know, not lab type tests, using a clamp meter, we've seen 95 to 85% conversion from 12 to 24 volts. So there is a little bit of a cost to that bigger capacity. But it is, we've had it run in here several times. I mean, you can feel the air like 15 feet away. So it is a very high capacity, robust system. Again, running 24 volt versus 12 volt, you see a lot lower temps inside the actual unit as far as resistance and wire temps. Amperages are half what they would be in 12 volt in the actual system. So there's a lot of efficiencies with that. But there is, like I said, a little bit of a conversion loss. So you may not, with a 12 volt system, you might see a little bit longer runtime, but you won't see that extra performance with a 12 volt system. So on the other hand, I know a lot of the solar side of the business is actually already 24 volts. So if you already have a separate 24 volt battery bank with solar panels, this whole system comes in a little bit cheaper and integrates a lot better with that as well, and you don't have the loss of conversion going from 12 to 24. So I believe it come in like 7,500 or so for the system if it's going into a 24 volt battery bank already. So benefits of our system versus other systems out there. Number one would be the power source. So we have a state-of-the-art 12 volt lithium starting dual purpose battery, I guess the best way to say it. So comparable to what a AGM is, I mean, although very, very far more advanced than an AGM, obviously. The lithium starting battery, right now we're the one distributing this particular battery. In my opinion, it's probably one of the best batteries in the market. It has a BMS. The temps, we're at, I believe, negative 40 Fahrenheit to 149 Fahrenheit on the high end. So most of the lithium batteries you see out there, they're only good to -4 Fahrenheit. So this one has been tested, rigorously tested, down to -40 and to 149 on the positive side, the hot side. So very, very robust battery, and that is the heart and soul of these systems. So when you're looking at comparative systems out there, you need to look at the battery system, because that is the equivalent of your diesel engine in a, one of the competitors out there, your Carrier Tri-Pack, or sorry, Thermo King Tri-Packs, Carrier Comfort Pro. So this is basically your engine is your batteries. So with our systems, we take out your existing starting batteries, so there's no need for an extra battery box. I'm going to put an asterisk by that comment. So the initial system comes with 4 batteries. We take your original lead acid or AGM batteries out, replace them with our lithium starting batteries. No need for a upgraded alternator, don't need upgraded wiring, just a plug and play, change the batteries out, put it in. That's how we can keep costs a little bit cheaper, is because we don't need to upgrade all that stuff, and then we don't have to add an extra battery box. Now, going back to that asterisk mark, our system is modular base. So if 400 amp hour isn't getting you with the four batteries, each one of these batteries is 100 amp hours, so times 4, which most trucks have, that brings you up to 400 amp hours. So if you're in Arizona a lot, Southern California, Southern Texas, to where you're looking to get that extra runtime, which we'll have the next video in this series will be about battery runtime and what you need to look for when you're speccing out a system or looking at competitor systems. Again, we're a modular system, so down the road you say, okay, I need some extra. You can get the initial system, get it put in. If you're a little bit short, you can save some money up, and you can add on later down the road. So you could add 2 batteries or 4 more batteries and get you up to a 600 amp hour or an 800 amp hour system, which will give you a lot more runtime. So that's one of the benefits of our system, is that you don't have to spend $15,000 up front to get what you want. You can go ahead and put the main system in, and then you can upgrade down the line. So a little bit of background on the components here. So the initial base AC system here has been in the market for about 8 years globally. There's about 50,000 units in circulation. The box under the bunk unit here is only in the North American market. So we're the only ones right now that you can get this product from, at the under the bunk anyways. The battery has been in the Asian market now for about 5 years. It is OEM in several Asian truck markets. That means it comes, when you buy a new truck from the factory, these batteries come with the truck OEM from the factory. So another thing, the battery does have a 5-year full replacement warranty, which is, in the battery industry, is unheard of. I hear a lot of guys buying regular, cheap, whatever brand, Interstate, East Penn, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I've heard some people paying $200 for your regular 925 CCA lead acid batteries. I mean, ours are a little bit more expensive, but with a 5-year warranty, I mean, that is unheard of, I mean, in my opinion, in the battery industry. But with that, we do offer, if you already have an electric APU and you're looking to get rid of those heavy AGMs that, after 12 months, they're down to 50% capacity or whatever, just not fulfilling the needs that you have, we do sell the batteries as a replacement for those other systems. If you're looking for a replacement AC system, we can spec out and sell you just the AC system. So very, very versatile here. So whatever you're looking for, especially if you're a fleet, I mean, we can, like I said, being direct to the manufacturer, if there's changes that you like, I mean, with the right order, we can tailor things to your needs. Okay, now with all the talk over, I think, let's go ahead and fire this thing up and see how everything performs. Shop, yeah, large, pretty good amount of airflow as we, I mean, I'm probably back 12 feet or so it's a pretty good amount of airflow. Okay, I got a clamp meter here, so we'll kind of see what we're pulling on the 12 volt side. So 40 amps right now. And on the 24, we should be roughly right at half that. Yeah, so at this point, we're like at 100% conversion efficiency when you got 40 on this side and right at 20. So now as this heats up, you will see a little bit of a decrease in efficiency, with resistance. Okay, so we're seeing 84 degrees ambient temperature. So I've got everything running at full blast, fan running at number 5, AC system compressor is going to be continuously running until it gets it down to the mean temperature that it wants. So now we're up to 41 amps, which I had it about 89 degrees in here the other day, and it did actually go up to about 60. On the highest I saw was 60 amps. So right now running at 40 amps, which again, this is a topic for a whole video, which we'll get into on the next video in this series, is talking about capacity and runtime, which there are a lot of misconceptions out there in the industry. So that's something you really need to be asking questions about, is actual numbers in the math. It's just Ohm's law, basically. So we'll get into that the next video. But right now, running at 40 amps with a 400 amp hour system, we'll see about 10 hours. Now, our batteries shut off when they get down to 10%, so to be a little bit less of that, and we'll talk about that in the battery video as to why they do that. Again, very, very smart battery, and you should never have to have a jump start ever again with these batteries. And again, we'll talk about that in the battery video, so stay tuned for that. But again, your total amp hour capacity of the system divided by the average amp draw of the system, you divide that into the total amp hour of the system, and that gives you your runtime and also your charge time on the other side of that. So if you're, just to make things easy, if you have a 400 amp hour system and you're able to charge at a consistent 100 amps, then it would take 4 hours to charge that battery system. So again, I've seen this system in 80, 89, 90 degree weather or ambient temperature in here get up to 60 amps. So obviously you'd be down to 6 or 7 out, in between 6-7 hours on capacity. When you actually cool everything down and the system's running a little bit more efficiently, a little bit lower amperage, then you could see upwards close to 20 hours. So it really just depends on your average amperage during runtime. Okay, so that kind of is a quick overview of the 24 volt split unit here. Okay, so stay tuned in the future. The next video in this series, we're going to talk about amp hour capacity and how that affects the runtime of the systems and everything you need to know about batteries. And also, we're going to talk about our other systems. We have a day cab / box truck unit as well that we've kind of reconfigured here in the US, and you're going to be putting that in production very soon. We also have inverters, and we have a shore power option as well, which we'll talk about in a separate video, to where you can hook up. And if you're at a place where you have power, I have some guys that do concert tours and stuff where they have power available, and you can just plug in and it's like you're in a campground. You just run all the time. You don't have to start the truck or anything. So we'll talk about those things in the future. So our 12 volt system is pretty much physically looks exactly the same as this, minus this. The batteries are the same, units are exact same size. The only difference is you have a little bit reduced capacity. So with our 12 volt unit, you're at 7,500 BTUs, so you're 2,500 BTUs less. But with that, you don't have the loss of conversion if you're going from 12 to 24, and it will actually run. I mean, you're not going to get as cool, obviously, because you have a little bit less BTUs. But you'll get a little bit longer runtime. So I mean, if you're running the mid United States up into Canada, the 12 volt is a great option as well. Okay, so I think we'll pretty much call it a day. The next video we'll be putting out is on batteries and amp hour capacity and how that affects your runtime. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit the bell for the updates. So we'll see you next time.